At 6, response times from first responders during the COVID-19 pandemic. Yesterday, Houston's fire chief said nearly 7% of his department is now quarantined due to COVID-19 exposure, and there's been an increase in COVID-related calls. So today we're checking with the Houston police chief. ABC 13's Ted Oberg is live with more on this. Ted?
Ginny, the impact for most Houstonians, apparently not much, at least not yet, but we hadn't seen the chief in some time since all of those protests. His absence not due to any related COVID impact. We'll tell you more on that in a minute. But first, across the department, this is having huge effects. As COVID cases climb in Houston, so have 911 calls for Houston police. No one crime trend is driving the increase, just signs of the city reopening. The more dramatic increase is the 400% jump in officers in quarantine for COVID exposure.
It's tough because we're already a pretty lean department.
On May 1st, HPD had just 41 officers in COVID quarantine. A month later, 54. Yesterday, 207. 178 officers have tested positive, and yet Acevedo says it's not affecting police response yet. As for how they got it, Acevedo's not blaming the protests.
We opened up the state very quickly, and especially bars, and I can't control what people do off duty, and then we had the protests. If I were venture to guess, if you look at the protests went on all over the country, and in most cities they haven't seen the uptick that we've seen here.
Acevedo himself doesn't have it either.
How in the world I didn't get COVID's beyond me, but it seems to show that if you're outdoors with circulation and everything else, it's a lot better than being in some crowded bar with people all around you and no one wearing a mask.
You brought it up. You've tested negative several times since?
Yeah, I've tested negative with the actual one up the nose, which is a very pleasant experience.
But worth doing. I've done it too.
I'm actually going to go again today or tomorrow.
The chief is now masked up, says all officers should be as well, department policy. But we wanted to know about other policies, the ones marchers wanted to change just weeks ago.
Well, the attention has shifted this momentarily, right?
But the chief knows demands for change will be back and continues to push for state and national changes. Pushed on local change, he hinted he's already looking at changing discipline rules and union contract negotiations next year and suggested changes sooner, well before the mayor's task force comes back.
We're always looking for changes. I mean, I'm talking about making changes as we speak.
Right.
Well, we don't talk about it till we get it done, but we're going to, we continue to evolve.
None of them are apparently changes to body camera video policies, and there still hasn't been release of the narcotics audit into HPD's narcotics division after the disastrous Harding Street raid. We, by the way, checked with the police union. They absolutely see a connection between this spike in cases and those protests, and saying reasonable people just see a connection, and so do their officers. Live downtown at HPD headquarters, Ted Oberg, ABC 13 Eyewitness News.
All right.